Get your earballs ready, and welcome back to the Greg and Tim Show podcast. Here are your hosts, Greg and Tim.
Well, welcome back to the Greg and Tim Show. I am Tim, as in Timothy Sanderson, and with me is my effervescent, I'm not sure I use that word right, effervescent with a fee. Is it with an F?
Effervescent.
Effervescent. I said vescent to begin with. My friend Greg Stewart, sporting the great jacket, the Toronto Blue Jays classic hat. Jays signed a couple people today. We'll talk about that later on.
A couple? I've only heard about one.
I sent you both of them.
Really?
Welcome to the Greg and Tim Show. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, it's been a busy week, eh, Tim?
It's great to see you, Greg.
I got a great show ahead.
It's fantastic.
I'm excited about it.
The last show
in this year
of 2023. The next time we meet together, it'll be 2024. A brand new, exciting year will be
at the end of the show. I'll probably say, "See you next year."
See you next year,
because that's the lamest joke of New Year's.
No, yeah. I'm sure you can come up with a couple lamer jokes, Greg.
Oh, thank you. Today we're going to talk about our Christmases, parties, presents, gathering, presents versus presents. Presents versus presents.
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
Spelled differently. Presents, as in things you get. Presents.
Yeah. We'll talk about some New Year's plans. And then how about the top of the day, Tim?
Core memories. We're going to talk about core memories specifically from New Year's. We'll chat about that and some of our favorite core memories. Yours, mine. We'll ask the viewers what their favorite core memories are and how it differs now from our generation to the previous generation and to the generation coming up ahead of us. Our children, are they different? And why are they different?
Generation after generation after generation.
Things change, I guess, but we'll talk about that later on.
So we got a ton coming up, Tim. We should just grab our beverages.
By the way, what do you got? Do you have something underneath your beverage?
This was one of my Christmas gifts.
What is it? Tell the viewer.
It is a coffee warmer or hot chocolate warmer or tea warmer, whatever you have. When you put it on here, it actually starts warming it back up.
Right.
And it has a temperature on it, and it'll turn the temperature back to that temperature.
So kind of similar to the Ember mugs that you see.
Very similar.
But for me, I could never get that because I have my coffee, and then I finish my coffee, and it's like 5.7 seconds.
Well, you have like 8 creams and 25 Splendas, so it doesn't even taste like coffee. And it's probably not even hot.
I warm it up after I put the creams in. I put the cream in, it's like, oh, that cooled it down, and then I heat it back up in the microwave for 10 minutes or whatever it takes.
Grab your favorite beverage, Timmy, and...
I forgot to bring my cup. You gave me the cup last week, and I didn't bring it.
I got mine.
Oh, forgive me.
I don't.
Will you forgive me?
No.
LAF. Love, accept, forgive. Okay. You have to forgive.
Fine.
Okay. Let's roll.
It's getting heavy.
Let's roll.
Cheers.
Cheers. Grab your phone, it's podcast time. It's the Greg and Tim Show. It's the Greg and Tim Show.
Well, Tim.
Well, Greg.
It's been a day. I got up early this morning.
Yeah.
Played some boot hockey.
Some what?
Boot hockey.
How's it different than ball hockey again?
Boot hockey is on ice, wearing your boots.
Okay.
And just shooting pucks around.
It's kind of like broom ball, but with a hockey stick and a puck.
Yeah.
Do you ever play broom ball?
Never played broom ball. I played spongy as a child, adult.
Broom ball is awesome.
Teenager.
I can't believe you haven't played broom ball. You don't have to skate.
So I played broom ball, but not like in a competitive broom ball environment.
Is there competitive broom ball leagues?
Yeah.
Really?
There used to be.
Do you remember?
There's not as much anymore, but spongy's big now.
Do you remember in the 80s? When the Jets would play the Bombers, it was called Schmocky Night in Canada.
Yes.
And they played, it was like broom ball or something.
Was it Schmocky Night in Canada?
It was called Schmocky Night in Canada. And they played like some version of broom ball / hockey. And it was on ice, but it was with like brooms instead of sticks.
Did the Jets play against the police and firefighters for that?
It was the Jets versus Bombers for a period of time. They could have also played the police. But yeah, the Bombers would play the Jets. It was called Schmocky Night in Canada.
But didn't they wear skates still?
It could be. That I think they did, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not so familiar with that, but I just remember.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Jets Wives Carnival. Remember that?
I was never a Jets wife, so I didn't.
I didn't ask if you were a Jets wife.
I didn't remember. I wasn't involved.
But do you remember the Jets Wives Carnival? It was like the carnival that they put on during the season. The Jets Wives would do it as a fundraiser for Jets Goals for Kids.
I don't.
And you'd go around and you get autographs from all the Jets players.
Yeah.
It was basically like a fan fest.
Right.
but it was put on by the wives.
I vaguely remember
You
something.
get to meet some of the wives. I met Ty Domi at one of them. That guy has the biggest melon I've ever seen in my life.
You got to meet some of the Jets' wives.
I didn't meet
all their wives.
I didn't meet
I
Ty
was
Domi's
13,
wife.
and it was a great time.
I was probably like 12 when I met Ty Domi.
It's just funny that
He had a
got to-
giant melon.
Oh, he had a huge head.
Giant.
Well, it didn't help that he had no hair, so it made it look even bigger.
My brother really liked Ty Domi, and my brother was little and had no
Look
hair.
at-
Billy
Billy's
put
got
up a picture of Ty Domi, and he's got his melon. He's everywhere now too. He's like in all these like different events. He was at a casino opening or something, playing roulette or
Yeah,
backgammon.
that was
or,
a different day and age, like the late 80s, early 90s. Remember when Ty Domi was
Did you
our
say Ailey's?
80s, sorry, was
Late 80s.
remember that 90s team that Ty Domi was like the number one fighter, and then Chris King was like the number two. Like, you had the heavyweight and the welterweight, and there probably was a middleweight somewhere
Well, we
there
had
too.
Sergey Boughton,
Yeah, but
Dave Manson.
it was like you had two fighters in every game. Each fighter would have their fight.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I guess that's something on the wayside. But I remember that.
we don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
I think our last fighter for the Jets was Peluso.
Yeah. I mean, every once in a while, you'll see a good fight.
Yeah.
But it's very rare.
Yeah.
Extremely rare. But yeah.
Nobody specializes in it
Yeah.
anymore.
And Ty Domi had a decent set of hands for handling the puck, but he just didn't score a lot of goals because that wasn't his role.
I believe he had an assist on Slaney's 54th goal.
I believe that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he wasn't
Dallas Eakins was
He,
also
he wasn't
nice.
just a goon. He had some skill.
Yeah, I guess so, eh?
So, Greg.
Yeah.
How was your Christmas? What'd you get? Tell me, spill the
So I
beans.
got this.
Yeah.
This is a coffee mug heater.
Yeah.
I got a drone.
Where'd you get the drone from?
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Okay. Well, there you go.
He visited my house. My kids got some gifts from Santa Claus.
Yeah.
What else did I get? Oh, I got an Ember mug.
Yep.
So very similar to this, but opposite, I guess, if you can.
Very similar.
The mug-
except
the mug
completely
itself-
the opposites.
The mug itself heats up the coffee as opposed to the plate underneath
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So, what about you? What did you get?
Before you go back to me,
Okay.
I was told by somebody that you and your wife decided before Christmas
Yeah.
that you weren't getting each other presents.
Uh-huh.
And how did that turn out?
Yeah, she didn't get me anything.
Is that true?
Yeah.
And did you get her something?
Yeah, of course I did. we said like when she says we're not going to get each other anything.
Yep.
I still get her something,
Right.
just in case. I don't want to be that guy.
When your wife says she doesn't want anything for Christmas,
Yeah.
that's code for something else. Is that what you're saying?
When your wife said,
Yeah.
when you say, "Hey,
Yeah.
can I go out and watch the game with the guys and have some wings?"
Yeah.
And she says, "Fine."
the fine is
It's
not
the
fine.
same as it's the same as. Are we getting each other gifts? No,
But in this case, you got her a gift, and
she didn't get me.
she
anything.
actually was serious.
Yeah.
and didn't get you.
So I'm 2 for 2 this year. I got you a gift.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
I got her a gift.
Yeah.
I got nothing. And I don't mind.
And
I'm a gift giver.
And honestly, last week I did feel bad that
Why?
I didn't get, because it's exactly right. And Billy said last week they'd feel bad if they got something and you didn't give them anything back in return. And the same thing for me. Now, in fairness, for me, I got over it in about 2 minutes. I just, now it's like I don't hold on to that. I forget about that kind of stuff anyway. But typically we do feel bad if somebody gets me something. I would anyway. I can't speak for.
Tell people what you got for Christmas.
I got some fantastic gifts. So I'm wearing a couple of them.
Ooh. New underwear?
No, I don't wear underwear.
Okay,
But
perfect.
that's not true. I do wear underwear.
Okay, good.
So I got 2 hats. One of them is this fedora. I've been asking for a fedora. I love wearing hats, and I never ever wear hats.
I've
I
never seen like this whole fedora
Yeah.
thing is great. Like you need a feather in it though.
I love hats. It's one of those things. I love hats, and I just don't wear them.
Yeah.
But I guess because I don't have them around, there's nothing to wear. But I absolutely love hats.
Yeah.
And this jacket. You like this jacket?
Yeah, I like the jacket.
That's
when I saw you wearing it on Christmas, I said you got to wear it for the podcast for the New Year's episode.
A Christmas day, right? Because I posted this. I posted the picture of us getting which presents, and this was a couple of them. So I got this. I got some other clothes for my kids. My daughter, who is at RMC, the Royal Military College, got me an RMC dad. His RMC dad on it.
Oh, cool.
T-shirt. Osmo's gift card.
Wow.
$50 Osmo's gift card.
$50. I guess we're going for dinner tonight.
Well, I might save that for special loved ones.
Loved ones and people you like better.
We're colleagues now. Mm-hmm. Like, we can't be friends and colleagues.
No.
Now we're colleagues.
Associates.
We're associates. If I'm calling you an associate and I have a hat on, I guess that makes me a mob boss.
No, it makes you an underboss still.
No.
I'm still the boss.
Well, of the family. Yeah. Not so much. So I got some fabulous gifts. I probably missed a couple, and someone's going to be upset that I missed some. So
you got a cool gifts. Mug?
From you, yes, the Greg and Tim show. Tim. And by the way, you can order your own Greg and Tim show.
Just send me money.
And
Interac e-transfer.
It'll be like those places that are you could donate, and if you donate more than $20, you get a free mug. And these places hope that
like PBS.
Yeah, like if you send $20 or more, you'll get this Greg and Tim show mug with your name on it, and
taxable receipt.
And then you hope. Well,
we can't give them a taxable receipt. We're not a charity.
And we'll hope that the average is like $35, right? Then we'll pocket the rest, right?
Yeah.
Something illegal that we could
something
do.
illegal. Maybe some racketeering.
Racketeering is the best kind of tearing.
You've never teared until you've racketeered.
Never teared until you racketeered.
Well, I'm glad you got some gifts. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I'm glad you also got some gifts. So it looks like we had a pretty good.
We had a great Christmas.
And then we got together on yesterday, Boxing Day, December 26th.
Let's do Velkason Christmas.
You went to do some Boxing Day sales, and you said the first place you went to was a dud, but the second place
St. Vital didn't have very much going on. But I did get a whole bunch of soap from Bath Body Works, Bed Bath and Body Works, whatever.
Bath and Beyond.
The place that has the soap. I bought 8 soaps for $2 each.
Yep.
Which they're regular like $7.50 or $8.50 each. But Matthew bought 16. He had to double me. He bought 16 soaps.
It's a good deal.
Yeah.
And you'll always use soap.
Yeah.
Very good purchase by our friend Matthew.
Yeah.
And speaking of Boxing Day, like when you introduced the topic, has Boxing Day kind of gone by the wayside? Honestly, when we talked about it, I was like, yeah, kind of. I really didn't pay attention to it, maybe because I don't purchase things on Boxing Day or really don't make a concerted effort to. But when I actually went to cognitively look at if there were sales online, otherwise, like I didn't realize how much it had. Like there's not much. Like there'd be just certain specials, but even online, if I'm, I was trying to book airfare. I have a few trips as far as airfare, hotels, cars, and there's a couple. Air Canada had 20%, 25% off. WestJet, but nothing out of the
crazy,
ordinary. Like, so I didn't realize how that really was the case. That Boxing Day, especially Boxing Day specifically, just today there was like very little.
There must have been sales going on at Nike because there was a giant lineup there. There's a lineup at Under Armour, but we waited in the Under Armour lineup. And hoodies were 60% off, shirts were 60% off.
I wish you would have stayed in that line just because I'd be curious. I think some places, just by name recognition, like some places you'll get a lineup because there actually is sales.
Yeah.
And then sometimes there'll be a lineup because there's a perception there must be sales.
Yeah.
It's Boxing Day, I'm going to Nike, and then 5 times the amount of people go to Nike and you create a lineup.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know if there actually was great sales.
Same here.
Sometimes it'd be like out of the ordinary. I'm guessing, I bet you they weren't that crazy for sales.
Yeah, there's a lot of people with bags.
Yeah. Well, you purchase if you're expecting to get a deal.
If you're going to wait in line, you're going to buy something.
And if you're already in the store.
I wonder if that's a ploy. They make people wait in line.
Yeah.
And because you've waited for like 15, 20 minutes in line, once you get in, you feel the need that you have to buy at least something.
That could be the case. I can tend to be frugal. I would stand in that line for an hour, and if I went in there and it wasn't a great deal or a very good deal, I'm walking out.
I find that when people shop with me, I can tend to make them spend money.
Right. And tell us the story of why you would say that.
Well, even when I went shopping with you at the outlets in Minneapolis, you bought 2 pairs of shoes, a shirt at Lululemon, some pants at Lululemon. Like, you bought a lot of stuff.
Right.
I don't know if you normally would have.
Only on the really good deals. And I'm pretty, if like.
And yesterday I made Matthew buy a lot of things.
Because he would show his underwear and you'd say, that looks great. You should buy that underwear. And say, sure.
Away he went.
Yeah. Billy, by the way, you can talk. You can talk.
Do you have something for us?
He showed us, he has on his phone.
What does he have on his phone?
Has,
Matt uses the soap on what?
Yeah. We can't say that. But before that, he said Under Armour had very good deals.
Yeah, I thought so too.
That's where
I got a hoodie there, and I got a long sleeve zip up shirt there.
Yeah,
I liked it. And you know what? If you own a business,
right,
getting the golf shirts at Under Armour right now would have been way cheaper than regular, because I think they were like $19 or something like that,
right,
for golf shirts. So. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about was sports.
We just talk about sports.
We never talk about sports.
That's different. Usually it's our feelings, science, and the world around it, geography.
Science. Speaking of science, you sent me like videos of Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about things, and then you sent me the wrong video, and I had to watch a 14-minute video that was the wrong video.
I bet you
nothing to do with what we were talking about.
No, the video.
But I watched the whole thing just to see if anything was
sent the wrong video, which happens from time to time, and what it was the science behind Tim Tam chocolates.
Mm-hmm. But that's not what you sent, though.
It was something else that was like climate change or something like that.
Yes.
I apologize. I apologize for that profusely.
But it shows that I watch everything you send me.
You watched 2 minutes. You didn't watch all 14 minutes.
I watched all 14.
Really?
I thought at the end there was going to be some kind of like mind-blowing explanation of what you wanted.
It's like that movie from Monty Python where it's called The Egg, and all it is egg, and you're expecting something to happen, but it never happens, and it's like 2 hours of just a plain egg on a counter or something like that. I'm not even sure that exists, but I was told that. But anyway, you kept waiting for something to happen, so you watched all 14 minutes. Anyway, so what were we talking about?
Sports.
All right, let's talk about sports.
Let's talk about sports. So sports over the Christmas. Sports generally over the Christmas holiday.
Yeah.
Normally, sports over the Christmas holiday, we don't see much.
Right. Well,
usually. Christmas Day is only basketball.
Yeah.
Christmas Day is usually reserved for basketball.
Right.
And New Year's Day is usually reserved for the outdoor classic for hockey.
Right.
Like those are the two, like these are spotlight games type of thing.
Yeah.
This year, because of when Christmas fell, we had Sunday. NFL games. So Christmas fell on a Monday.
Right.
So we had Monday Night Football.
So
and Christmas Eve we had football.
Is that the case next week too for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, both. It just happens to be where it is. And the NFL's not going to move their games just because it's a holiday.
Nope.
They're basically going to play their games when they were planning to play it.
Yeah.
Doggone it.
But next year, Christmas Eve is a Tuesday and Christmas Day is a Wednesday.
Yeah.
There won't be any NFL games on. It'll just be basketball.
Tuesday, Thursday NFL games in 2021 for the reason the thing we don't talk about. Yeah, they would play. Remember, they would play like Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I didn't remember Tuesdays. I remember Thursdays. They still do Thursdays.
They played Tuesdays and some. I think a couple of Wednesdays when they had to because people were.
Because of delayed games and
yes,
it wasn't scheduled that way. They made them. They couldn't play on the Sunday.
Right.
They had to wait and play on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
No, I remember that. Yeah.
Anyway, that was kind of different.
And then there's bowl games over Christmas. That's the biggest thing. And you pointed something out yesterday.
Minnesota
about bowl
Golden
games.
Gophers were in like the Dodge Ford Focus Bowl. I don't know what it was.
Dodge Ford Focus.
I made something up because
the Department of Redundancy. Redundancy-ness.
And they're 5-7 this year. They have 5 wins and 7 losses, and they were in a bowl game, and they won.
It was the Morgan and Morgan Bowl.
Morgan and Morgan and Morgan and Morgan.
Morgan and Morgan.
Morgan and Morgan and Morgan.
The Morgan and Morgan Law
Solicitors.
Associates.
Bowl.
Bowl.
Everybody gets a bowl. You get a bowl. He gets a bowl. Billy gets a bowl. We all get a bowl.
As long as it's not a dog bowl, I'm fine.
Oh,
Some of them are dog bowls, though.
Yeah, and it's all about money. It's all about TV rights and all that stuff. If you
When
can
is
have
the Rose Bowl?
Yeah, the original. That was the only thing that was on.
But when is the Rose Bowl? Do you know? Is it New Year's?
No,
Billy, do you know when
it's
the
like-
Rose Bowl is?
No, and not only that, isn't the Rose Bowl is not even one game anymore?
Yes, it is.
Isn't there? Oh yeah, that's the
the
final
Rose
game. But
Bowl
there's
is
a
the big
tournament.
championship.
There's a mini tournament that goes on before the final game to see who's playing in the game.
Yeah, so January 1st is the Rose
Yeah,
Bowl.
but don't they have like to decide? Sorry, they have an NCAA championship, and whoever wins that game they do like this mini round robin thing between the top 3 teams or something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how
that
it
was
works.
started a few years ago. I don't know if that's still the case, but that was started a few years ago.
So that's the big bowl, the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And then Billy's trying to figure out how to use his phone. And it's Alabama versus Michigan this year in the Rose Bowl.
There you go.
Do you know anybody from Alabama?
I have never been to Alabama. I don't think I know anyone from Alabama.
What about the band?
What did they say? They have one big song, right? What's their big song?
Alabama.
Oh, Billy, he played a bunch of country music on a trip. He likes country. He knows. He
Billy
knows. He knows Alabama's one of their biggest song. I know he does. I know he does for a fact.
And as he looks it up.
No, he should know this. Okay, anyway, while he's looking that up.
Anyway, that's
So,
like sports over the Christmas holidays is hit and miss. Yesterday we had our gathering,
Yeah.
and one of the young adults that were at the gathering, we had the hockey game on,
Yeah.
and he doesn't like hockey. And I'm like, do you know that there's nothing else on?
to his credit, he likes the thing that nobody likes other than... I'm the only one that follows this other than this young gentleman you're talking about,
Basketball?
who shall remain Tristan. He loves basketball,
Yeah.
which I respect because none of my friends follow basketball.
Yeah.
They're too white. They just follow hockey and all the other ones. And I like basketball.
And this young man is what to you?
He is a young man to me.
Okay.
He's Avery's boyfriend.
Oh, what's Avery doing now?
What's Avery doing now? He's at a gathering.
It's been a while since we
Sure, she's
talked
at
to Avery.
a gathering with the person. I won't
I
say
played
that.
I played boot hockey with him
Yeah.
today.
We did?
Yeah.
He said floor hockey. I guess Avery got that wrong. Where'd you play?
At the boot hockey arena.
What?
It's a guy's house that backs onto a lake. They
Okay.
just shovel off the lake and we play some boot hockey.
I didn't realize you went. I heard about it afterwards. Thanks for inviting me to everything, by the way.
It's not my thing to invite people to.
Oh, yes.
You know what it's like.
Yeah.
You can't invite people to things that you didn't schedule. It's not like I'm Matthew.
Okay, well. I might have come today. It sounded like fun. And they said, Avery said floor hockey. It definitely wasn't
It
floor
wasn't
hockey.
floor hockey, no.
So yeah, I would have come. It would sound like fun.
It's kind of like Fight Club.
Right.
What's the first rule of Fight Club?
Don't talk about Fight Club.
That's right.
Right.
So I might have to cut out the boot hockey stuff.
Right. Well, I'll have to give him crap.
Okay.
So anyway, and basketball is like the one thing that's always on Christmas Day is
Yeah.
basketball. But again, none of my friends watch basketball other than Tristan and myself.
Yeah, and I watch basketball like randomly. Cruz was really into it last night. He was watching basketball, and
Right.
Cruz is like into all sports right now. If I put sports on TV, he'll sit there and watch it and cheer for it.
Why do typical Canadians not watch basketball?
I think that because we only have one team,
Right.
it's the same as baseball. Typical Canadians, you could go. I think you could go to half of Canada and they don't even know who the Blue Jays are.
What do you mean? There are
Like players on the team, like what their record is, and all that kind of stuff.
right. Yeah, that's it.
But basketball is becoming more popular in Canada. Like,
is it
yeah, we have the CEBL, Canadian
even more
Elite
popular
Basketball
than
League.
when Steve? Like it seemed like when Steve Nash was at its prime, the Raptors were really really good. Not
So that was basketball sweeping.
Vince Carter, Vinsanity. That was its peak in Canada. And we had the Grizzlies. That seemed to be at its peak. It
So-
seems to have gone downhill since then.
I think one of the reasons why we talked about last week,
Yeah.
the Jets trying to gain the South Asian market,
Yeah.
is one of the reasons why basketball is becoming more popular in Canada. Basketball has really just there's the immigration side of Canada goes more towards basketball than hockey, and I think that's why hockey's trying to capture some of that market.
But I think the interest in basketball has gone lower, at least in Manitoba.
We have a team now. Apparently the games are a blast, though.
Yeah,
like they.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna check it out this year. I should.
I won tickets. I won 2 tickets.
And when are we
through
going?
An Instagram contest.
Perfect. When are we going?
I'm taking Lorraine. I also won 2 T-shirts. I won 2 tickets and 2 T-shirts.
And you're taking Lorraine. What if she has postnasal drip on that night, and she can't go?
Well, that will be unfortunate because it's in June.
Oh, that's too bad. I wanted you to take do the Leafs game, but I guess not.
You did not.
Who else am I going to take?
I'll go.
No, I thought I'd be getting an invite for a basketball game.
Basketball game.
I'm not going to shopping. I'm not going to broomball or whatever you're playing. I'm not going to a basketball game. I'm not going to any of it.
What did you say at the beginning of the show? We're colleagues. We're not friends anymore. So we can't hang out outside of this.
I can't associate with you outside of the workplace. Workplace is here. Friendship is there.
You're thinking about taking me to the Leafs game, and now you're telling me you're not. That's fun. Thanks for that.
Okay, let's transition to the Jets as the last, I think the last sports talk.
Okay.
So transitioning to the Winnipeg Jets.
Winnipeg Jets.
We just had
Winnipeg Jets.
The Jets, yeah. We just had a 3-day break. We played on the 23rd.
Yep.
And we don't play till the 27th. That's the day of the taping.
Yep.
And
we're recording today. We're playing against the lowly Chicago Blackhawks.
So at this point of the year, we had a very
Can you call a team that anymore?
The Blackhawks?
No, the Blackhawks.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah, no, because the Blackhawks, it's actually a very respectful
dignified
reason why, if you're looking into it. Nowadays, if it just sounds bad, everyone's all up in arms, right?
That's true. Anyway, Jets are playing the Blackhawks tonight.
And this time of the year, when they transitioned to the second after Christmas, was when the Jets started the decline last year. And
so
it was
bad.
arduous.
January was bad.
So the question now is, and I can give my answer too, but I'm going to propose it to you first. But
okay.
The differences in the two teams, their structure, how they're playing, their coaching, et cetera, do we expect that this is sustainable? I know we talked about this over the last couple of episodes, but one more time, is this sustainable? Do you think that they can or they will sustain this for the rest of the year?
Based on track record, which is what we're told that we're supposed to go based on, no.
I say yes.
I know you say yes.
Yeah.
And I've heard your argument in chats and everything. The reason why I say no...
By the way, you also said 3 episodes again the Jets will finish first in the Central, or second in the Central.
That's, yeah.
So you're contradicting yourself a little.
I am contradicting myself because my heart wants them to finish first or second.
Yeah.
But you're asking me if it's sustainable.
Yeah.
And I have to go based on track record first.
Right.
And track record right now, until I'm proven wrong, is no. Yep. They can't sustain it.
Right.
Now, let's say January goes by and they have 8 games that are very winnable in the next 8 games. Very winnable. January goes by in the next 8 games and they win 6 of 8, 7 of 8, 8 of 8. You can change my mind very quickly.
Right. So your mind is, has some fluidity to it.
Obviously, it's sports. The problem is...
And it's your mind.
The problem is, if they go 4-4 against the next 8 games, against teams that they should go 6-2, 7-1 against, that's where, like I said, I don't have the faith in them until they prove to me that they can move forward in an upward trajectory. They actually have the same amount of points now that they did at Christmas last year.
Yeah. Right.
But
very similar place.
I do believe that at this time last year, they had an easier schedule than they did this year. And I think that the easy part of the schedule is coming up, and it could really prove a big difference if they could really hammer down and start beating these teams that they should beat, like Chicago tonight. Then they can move up. And they can actually put a distance between themselves and Colorado, themselves and Dallas.
Chicago, who a couple games ago beat the Avalanche at home 3-2. You lose against weaker teams. Sometimes it happens.
Any squirrel can find a nut.
Well, maybe there's some screwy squirrels who can't. Maybe they're just walking around saying,
blind,
I can't find
what's the saying?
I can't find my
A blind
nuts.
squirrel can find a nut. That's the saying.
Is it?
Even a blind squirrel can find a nut. And
While I'm talking, you can check that out if you see if you can. Okay. So for me, the eye test for this team, they just look different. Last year, Hellebuck was saving games more so than he is this year. We're not having to rely on Hellebuck to stand on his head. We have more depth. Velarde and Iafallo have been incredible ads.
Yep.
Especially
Kapari's coming back.
The depth is there.
Hanel is coming back.
The structure is there. It looks like, and they beat the Bruins. They out-Bruined the Bruins in that game.
Yeah, they grinded them.
They suffocated them. They grinded them. They had great transition, and the same thing for the game against the Avalanche. Right? Yeah. They just look different now. Whether they will continue to do that, and I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to finish first in the Central because they are facing. Dallas and Colorado also have very good teams.
Yeah. And then there's also teams like Minnesota that come out of nowhere. Yeah.
But I do believe that, finishing third in the Central with a comfortable playoff spot is very, very attainable, and you can only control your game. So if teams like Dallas...
I don't think that's not attainable. I think that the first place, the maintenance of...
Yeah. I'm not saying they're going to finish first.
And they're first or second place.
And they're not in first right now. They're in third. Although they do have 2 games in hand, I think.
They have 2 games in hand, and they technically are in first based on win percentage.
Right. So I do believe, first, second, third. I'm not saying they're going to finish in even a blind squirrel can find a nut once in a while. You are correct in that saying. Billy just told us that. But I think anywhere in that first, second, third spot, I'm just saying I don't think that they're going to fall off the face of the planet like they did last year.
No. And you know what? I'll be happy if they don't. And I do think that they're going to finish higher than last year.
This team reminds me a little bit about the 2018 team. 4 lines, working well, playing responsible defensive play. You had Tanev playing on the 4th line. It reminds me a lot of that team and how they play.
I think they need a right-handed shot defenseman that is scary still.
Like as far as the shot?
And Homer Simpson's a fan.
Billy's showing us a picture. He's very active. Billy's very active.
Billy is very active.
We should try to sign
Not sleeping like normal.
By the way, going back to the Jays, they signed, you got the second sign?
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
2 years, 50
And Kiermaier.
Did
they have somebody else?
10 million. Well, that was the 2 signings.
Oh, Kiermaier was yesterday. And
was it yesterday?
Kiner-Falefa was today.
Anyway, I just thought of that.
IKF, they call him.
So I'm calling...
He's next Yankee.
Well, how many points do the Jets have? Are they on pace for 100? I say they finished with over 100.
I don't know. I can't remember how many points, but I just knew that was the exact same amount. The thing with the Jets is, where's Brent Burns playing this year? Is he playing in...
He's 100 years old.
But he's playing in...
Is it
Carolina still?
Carolina?
Are they in the playoffs?
Billy, find a picture of Brett Burns. He's a hockey player, and you'll find in a picture of him, he's got a crazy beard. Check out his beard first, and then see which hockey team he currently plays for.
I think it's Carolina.
The Jerks?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's the beard.
Bunch of jerks.
Yeah, it's Carolina. Yeah.
So,
right? Carolina? Yeah. Okay.
I do think if they can get a guy... So, let's say Brent Burns isn't available, and he's too old in your mind.
Yeah.
There's got to be another right-handed shot.
You know what? I'm okay. If we sign a guy like Brett Burns, yes, there's another picture.
Trade a guy like him, yeah. No teeth. No teeth at all.
He has a wife and kids, I assume. How? He has money.
He makes a lot of money.
We probably can solidify, a pairing, a third pairing or second pairing.
I think they need a second pairing right-hand shot.
And
Pionk is good. Pionk is good. DeMello is okay. If DeMello was my third pair right-hand shot, I'm okay with that.
Every year,
I would like to see
people complain about the Jets not picking up people, but every year that even years where they don't do anything in the playoffs or seem to have a team that's maybe not as good, they always pick up somebody going into the postseason.
Yeah.
Even the year where they lost to St. Louis in 6 games, that first year they picked up Hayes.
2 kids, girl and a boy.
A wife and 2 kids, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice looking family.
Brent Burns.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. He probably has some value. But I agree with you. It would be helpful to have a bigger right-handed defenseman, even for a short period of time. And I'm sure they will pick up, whether it's a right-handed defenseman or not, they'll pick up something. Somebody.
Yeah. It's fun to be a Jets fan right now.
Yeah. But what's it going to take for people to start coming to the games?
Well, they had the most people at that Bruins game. That was their highest attended game.
Yeah, but how many of them are there to watch the Bruins?
Yeah, but still, we have the Leafs game coming up that you're going to by yourself.
Oh no, I'll be going with somebody.
You'll take somebody with you.
I'll be going with somebody.
I shouldn't have told you I won tickets.
Why the Leafs suck and how can it? What is this? Billy's story.
How can they be fixed?
Al Strachan. Billy's showing us an article about everyone loves to hate the Leafs.
Yeah,
Leafs.
I love to hate the Leafs.
Yeah,
Austin Matthews, Mitchell Marner.
I hate the Oilers just as much as the Leafs.
I don't. I hate the Leafs more.
Yeah,
they've been losing since 1967.
Yeah, everyone loves that. It's like when the Cubs, though. It's kind of cool to be losing for that long. Like when the Cubs hadn't won a World Series in so long, it was like special. When the Red Sox hadn't won, it was the curse of the Bambino, and it's kind of special. Yeah. And when they both won, it was like, eh. And they won again. After I was like, eh.
What do you think the curse of the Leafs are?
The curse of the Leafs is there is no curse, is there?
I don't think so. Gary Bettman's a problem. I'm going to say it once again. We're going to finish it on
He's a problem for the Canadian teams.
He's a problem for the Canadian teams.
But the owners love him. They make money. That's his job.
Let me make a quick note about that. Gary Bettman.
Sucks.
Leafs. Okay, let's move on.
Okay.
Let's talk about New Year's.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything for New Year's?
I don't have any plans yet.
No?
No.
Not at all?
No.
You're not going to go out wearing... Oh, you can wear that maroon jacket that you got? Should I throw up a photo of the maroon jacket? I don't think I have one, yeah. I'll throw up a photo of that maroon jacket with you taking that shot.
I haven't got an invite anywhere yet.
I haven't either.
There you go. Is New Year's Eve not what it used to be either?
That's a question, eh?
Yeah.
Like, I remember back in the day, well, maybe it's because we're old. Do you think it's because we're old?
We're not old. Oh, you're saying people our age are not putting on parties?
Yeah. Like people like the ages of 18 to 25 are going to parties.
Yeah.
And Billy just said we're old.
Billy, do you have plans for New Year's Eve? So now he doesn't.
Billy also doesn't have plans. And Billy's 22 years old.
Billy is not 22 years old, but let's just say he is.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I expect you would, but I guess not.
I have plans. No, I asked you if you had plans.
And then I asked you too, and you said...
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, we'll play back the tape. You didn't ask me if I had plans.
What did I say?
I said, do you have plans? And you said, do people our age not make any plans anymore? We'll roll the tape. Roll back the tape.
I haven't got an invite anywhere yet.
I haven't either.
There you go. I said, are you doing something New Year's Eve? You said, no.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I am.
What are you doing?
So we booked a hotel in a small town outside of Winnipeg.
Okay.
So the kids can go on the water slide, and I can have a free breakfast in the morning.
If somebody wanted to join you, what establishment is this at? And which town? Just say which town.
Just say which town.
I'll just go from place to place.
It is Myrtle, Manitoba.
Myrtle, Manitoba?
Yeah.
Is it really?
No.
Okay.
I'll tell you off air where we're going.
Okay.
And then you can decide if you want to book it as well.
Does it rhyme with Stinkler?
Nope.
Snibberville?
Nope.
Slimly?
No. Originally, we were going to go to Elkhorn for 2 days.
Yeah. Hey, they have the new Nordic Spa.
They have the new Nordic Spa,
but the prices will be way up now that it's New Year's Eve.
No, we had it booked and then we canceled.
How much was it?
No, we're not going to Miami either, Billy.
It's Miami. There's no. I don't know if there's a hotel.
There is anybody that's watching. There's a Miami, Manitoba.
Yeah.
And we also have a place called South Beach in Manitoba, which is north of Winnipeg, which is just a casino that's modeled after Scarface.
Speaking of Miami, after we showed up all dressed up for Christmas Day, you said we should have formal night in some place like Miami when we go to Florida.
Oh, yeah. When we go to Florida, we're going to have formal day.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a different jacket. This one's not as summery as yours.
Right.
I'm going to get a summerier jacket, and then we'll rock it.
Be like Night of the Roxbury. But apparently, if you stay by the Miami Strip for past 2 p.m., 2 a.m., you get shot.
Ooh, I think if you stay there anytime, you can get shot.
I went when I love Miami.
But you kind of look Cuban, though.
Do I?
Yeah, so I think you could maybe...
I was going to do a Cuban accent.
Can you do a Cuban accent?
Hey,
That's appropriate? No, that's Canadian.
The only person I know that's Cuban is like Ricky Ricardo. Hey, Lucy, is that what you doing, Lucy? That's way off.
That's horrible. That's a
melting into
horrible
some-
accent.
I can't do it.
You're gonna get canceled now because of that.
By trying to do a Cuban accent.
Yeah. Just because you look Cuban doesn't mean you can do an accent. It's cultural appropriation.
Right. All right. Mark Cuban. Picture of Mark Cuban. He is not Cuban. He's
not
very, very white.
So I got a question for you though, because we're gonna move on to the next topic. I'm gonna bring it right into this topic of the day. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's roll the topic of the day music.
Topic of the day. Topic of the day.
Okay, hooray. It's time for the topic of the day.
Okay, Tim. Topic of the day today. We're gonna talk a little bit about core memories. And the reason why I want to roll it into New Year's is because I want to ask you the first question. A, do you know what a core memory is?
I think so.
Okay. So
I know enough.
I know enough. So today is a core memory day for Billy.
I would assume a core memory is very foundational, typically in your youth, that you remember more so than all other memories.
A core memory is a memory in your mind that you can't forget because it was such a great time, moment. For instance, the Jose Bautista home run and bat flip.
Right.
I remember standing there in my living room with Cruz in my arms, and Cruz would have been 2 years old.
Yeah.
Jose Bautista hit that home run, and I remember jumping up and down with him in my arms as we watched that game. That's a core memory. Like, I'll remember that for the rest of my life, right?
Right.
So what
it would be like I've had 48 New Year's. This is my 48th New Year's Eve, but I don't remember 48 New Year's Eve because they weren't all
core memories.
So,
do you remember any New Year's Eves?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your earliest New Year's Eve memory?
I don't know if it's my earliest, but the one that I remember first and foremost was when I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
And my mom didn't have a car. I'm an only child. We went over this.
Yeah,
and the worst
something we didn't know about Tim.
I'm an only child, single parent. My mom didn't have a car.
Yeah.
And so I bussed everywhere.
Yeah.
And for some reason I had a couple of friends that I knew at that time, and they invited me to a party.
Yeah.
And I don't remember much about the party, but because the party ended at midnight or 12:30, I took the Winnipeg Transit back.
Yeah.
And it's the only time in my life where I've taken transit on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
And it was the most entertaining 25 to 30 minutes of my entire life.
Yeah.
Watching inebriated people on a bus.
How old were you?
I was 12.
Oh, wow.
12 or 13, somewhere around there.
Only child. I grew up in the country, so I didn't get on buses.
Right.
But yeah. So that was like one of your earliest New Year's Eve memories?
Well, that's the one when you asked me how my New Year's Eves, and a lot of them are the same. Let's be honest. A lot of the New Year's Eves that we have are the same.
Boring.
Getting together with friends. Not boring, but just having a party with drinks.
I find that New Year's Eve is one of these things that people build up.
Right.
And a lot of times it's a letdown.
Right.
Right? Yes, it'll always end with all lang syne, and somebody's going to kiss somebody inappropriately, and it's going to be a
Which
mess.
parties are you going to?
Oh, I went to a few when I was a teenager.
I don't remember. I've never been to any of those parties.
Yeah. My earliest one was I was visiting my grandma in Thompson, and I was left home alone for New Year's with friends. Not like that. Not that kind of home alone.
Okay.
Just a friend of mine that lived in Thompson came over. We hung out for New Year's. I would have been probably like 10 or 11 at that one. I don't think I have any early ones. I think I remember. Now, I don't know for sure. I do remember my parents ordering Chinese food one year, and I think it was New Year's, but I didn't get to stay up for it because I was a child.
I remember some before the age of that 12, 13 that I'm referring to, and it'd be like friends from church, different couples, and we play games and have food.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking of it like that's kind of what we did. Now, I'm not a crazy party animal.
Yeah.
And I'm not a night owl. I'm not a night owl.
No.
And so when I'm the kind of person now is like, what is it? Am I going to get to midnight?
Yeah, like we went to the Grey Cup party and you left at like 10 o'clock.
But again,
and you guys were like sleeping on the couches while we were all in the party.
And in fairness, I've always been that way.
Yeah.
And
that's fair.
It's not like I was a wild child in high school. And now that I've gotten older, I've just mellowed and I need to be in bed by 11. I've always been that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Like for me, I've got some core memories of New Year's, but for core memories in general, I feel like my core memories as a child are memories that I have photo evidence of.
Right.
So like I remember juggling in Disneyland.
Yeah.
Because there's a photo of me juggling in Disneyland. I can remember the person and the event and like the surroundings, but I don't know if it's because there's a photo of me doing it that I've looked at over the years or if because I actually remember that.
You're prompted by the picture to have a memory, so you're prompting your brain to remember something, and you don't know if that's the prompt. Or if it's the actual memory.
So one of the things that I do with the family is we do videos of events and like things that we do as a family, and we were watching them over the holidays here so far, and my kids can vividly remember these places that they went to because we're going back to Florida. That was the kids' surprise trip this year. Going back to Florida, we were showing them the Florida videos and they remember the place and they remember the things that they did there because they can watch these videos. Yeah. I wonder if core memories for my kids are going to be different than core memories for us, which are different than core memories for like our parents.
Yeah. And going back to something like Florida, like that's one of the reasons why they say don't take your kids to like Disney when they're a certain age, when they're young, because they won't remember it.
Yeah.
Because it's not a core memory necessarily.
Yeah.
And you're spending all this money and they don't appreciate it. But going back to your question, you're suggesting, you're asking if the next generation, our kids, are going to have the same core memories, or because everything is documented in a picture, on Instagram,
on videos, and
video,
like
et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like we were talking about this during the day today.
Yeah,
is that I think at least my kids, and I didn't have a chance to ask them, but I think I have provided my kids, and certainly for the first few years of their life, I didn't document things.
Yeah,
I took very little pictures.
But you do share. A lot of Facebook memories.
Yes, in the last 10 years mostly.
Yeah.
Before then, I think the first 6 or 7 years, barely any. I mean,
social media wasn't
as much a big thing. Not as widely used anyway.
Yeah.
And I think the memory is first and foremost, and it's certainly after the age of 10, they're going to remember it whether I post something or not.
Yeah.
So I think my kids, at least that generation, I think for my kids, they actually have more core memories than when I was a child. I don't have a ton of core memories myself, and that's just me as an individual. I don't know if that's my generation per se. I don't.
And it's funny because you say you don't, but there's so many things that you have talked to me that you remember.
Yeah.
So like you remember like the Jets getting a certain goal. Yeah. You remember the Bombers having a certain kicker.
Yeah.
Do like stuff. Like you have core memories.
Right.
But I wonder if, and maybe our kids, you think that our kids have these core memories, but maybe they only have like 3 or 4 from their childhood that are like actual, like they can remember that happening. Yep. For me, the core memories are like, I can remember driving my bike over a bridge in Thompson and back and getting grounded the next day because my parents found out I did that.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's a core memory for me.
How old were you, by the way?
I would have been 7.
So a similar thing happened to me when I was 5 or 6, and I rode my bike. I didn't get in trouble, but I rode my bike from a place we just moved to, and then I realized I was lost. And I started crying, and then some nice people who weren't people that abducted people, I guess, drove me back, and I got there, I was just crying.
Yeah.
But that kind of memory, because it was, I guess, slightly traumatic, right?
Yeah. Well, trauma will trigger memory.
So the question is, as social media is more prevalent, as we document everything, are those core memories going to be less and just replaced by actual pictures and video?
So I'm wondering if the Facebook memories or an app that I have called Time Hop has allowed us to create fake core memories. Right. Do you know what I mean? So like things that we remember. Do you ever have stuff pop up on your Facebook memories and go, I don't remember doing that? Or I don't remember that when that photo was taken.
99% of the memories I got on Facebook, I remember personally.
Yeah. Maybe it's because we post a lot.
Yeah.
And there's some photos I'm like, where was that photo taken? And who's that person in that photo that I took it with?
I think for me, I remember everything as it happens. And we talked about this earlier today too.
Yeah.
But a memory on social media can never replace. When you have memories of something that actually happened, it's almost the picture's more dramatic. The sunset is better than the actual picture.
Yeah.
Your memory, and that's why sometimes we say, presence. Like, put away your phone, enjoy the sunset.
Yeah.
You do not have to document it. I know Jerry Seinfeld had a joke about that when he went to a show, right?
Okay, get all your photos out now.
Like, you're here.
Yeah, enjoy.
Right? And it was funny, but he's right. Like, sometimes you just have to put the phone away.
I have this awesome core memory.
Okay.
There's no video, there's no photos or anything like that. Going to Hawaii for the first time with my grandparents and my parents, and we went to Waikiki, the beach. There's a breaker on part of the beach, and then there's just past the breaker where the waves actually come in really hard. Me and my grandpa sitting on the edge of the beach where the water comes in, and the water just crushing us.
Yeah.
And my grandpa's laugh, and my grandpa's like childlike enthusiasm at that moment.
Yeah.
Core memory forever. And I don't even have photos or videos of that. And I can still see his face.
Yeah.
I can still see the Diamond Head mountain off to the left of it. You know what I mean?
It's funny, and I think sometimes, and I'm going to go off that story of a memory I have too. But I think sometimes you could be prompted to remember things you already remember too. It's like, oh, I forgot about that, but I didn't really forget about it. It's kind of put in the archives a little bit, and it kind of prompts you when you get a memory. That's right. We did that because that'll often happen. It was like, oh, I totally forgot about that, but now I just remember that. And the same thing happened now. I didn't remember the specific memory and off the top of my head when I came into the show, but as soon as you said the beach and the waves coming over top, we had a similar thing in Fort Lauderdale when the kids they must have been 5, 6, and 7 years old.
Yeah.
They weren't very big. They had dresses on, Avery, Raina, and Taylor. We were in there for something, and I had like shorts and a t-shirt, and we were like a block from the ocean or the inlet or whatever you want to call it in Fort Lauderdale. And we're like, well, we're right here. And of course, when you're from Winnipeg and it's 26 degrees, well, it's the ocean.
Yep.
So we went there, and myself, Raina, and Taylor just went into the water, and we're just getting demolished by these waves. But we're having a ton of fun.
Yep.
And Avery started, again, she was 3, 4, 5, whatever it was. And she started freaking out because she thought the ocean was going to swallow us. And she was crying and screaming. And Tammy was like, no, it's fine. But she was literally terrified that the ocean was going to swallow us whole. Because all of a sudden you would see us, and then you wouldn't see us. And anyway.
I do have one other core memory. Right. This is a memory of things that have happened to me. I remember, this is like a vivid memory, which is weird because you're right here. I used to work for the Bombers at their store, and I remember seeing a guy come in wearing his painting outfit, and I'm like, I know that guy. But I didn't know that guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I know that guy from church.
In the future, in the alternate universe.
But like I could still see you walking in there wearing your painting gear through that old store. Remember the store that was stuck out the side of the side of the stadium?
Yeah.
Because you had to walk through that store to get in the doors to go watch the open practice. Yeah. And I told Lorraine, I'm like, that guy from church was just here, but he was wearing these painting clothes at 8 a.m. But yeah, that's a memory that I'll always have. I got a lot of, and Lorraine tells me, she's like, you remember the weirdest things.
Right.
And I do. And it's usually triggered by smell, sound, or like music will trigger a memory for me. Smells will trigger memories for me. Yeah.
My wife will never remember, or almost never remember, a movie we watched together. It'd be like, we've never seen this. Yes, we have. Or this. Yes, we have.
That's great, though.
We watched this last Tuesday. What? Never. It's like, I have to tell her she was watched a movie before. Remember the guy?
But the best part about that is that you can watch a movie that you like again.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even know.
Yeah. Oh, but I forgot to say what we did on Christmas Eve after the concert. That's right. And they get triggering memories, right?
What's that? What do you remember?
Well, the first time ever after we did the 5 services at church.
Yeah.
And Taylor played viola. It was great. And I sang in the background there. And 10 hours at church. And then afterwards, Tammy was going to make some supper. I'm like, just don't make supper. Let's do something easy. So we went to go watch Wonka at Grant Park.
Yeah. How was it?
It was awesime. It was great.
Yet. My family's at it right now.
We went home. Well, they're not at it. I think they
went to it today.
But I went home. I got my onesie, pajamas, and
you went to the movie in your onesie?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And I think Raina also brought her onesie too. So the two of us, and then we're there, and then we watched Wonka for 2 hours. Got some snacks.
Didn't I give you that idea? I said go on Christmas Eve.
No, that was maybe it was you.
Yeah, I said go on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and then Craig said to wear your pajamas.
I've never told you to wear your pajamas.
Craig did.
I think wearing your pajamas out in public is ridiculous.
It was fantastic. So it was awesome.
Yeah.
Had a good time. You didn't have to
and
make
that might be a core memory for your kids.
Yeah.
In 20 years, they might go, remember that Christmas Eve that we went to Wonka?
Yeah.
Anyway, core memories.
Core memories, yeah.
So in the end, do you think our kids are going to have more or less because of social media?
I think that they will have the same amount of memories. I think the memories could be diluted a little bit.
Because of social media.
Because I think it's like a book. A movie can never be as good as a book because there is no
imagination
producer or studio that's as bright and vivid as your brain.
Yeah.
And you can never duplicate it.
Yeah.
No matter how good that movie is, it can never be as good as a book because when you read those pages, it comes to life in your brain.
Yeah.
And social media can never duplicate what you just experienced. And I know I'm at fault for sometimes I need to put my phone down.
Yeah.
And experience it.
I think we all are.
It's not, someone else down the street doesn't need to see it.
Yeah.
It's for me. And I'm guilty of that, like a lot of people. So I think this next generation, and who's only going to get more.
Yeah.
Likely
more
to be technology that when you're there, live stream everything.
Well, they look at the new goggles by Apple. Apparently, you're going to be able to record what you can see.
Right.
And then when you put the goggles on, you can relive those moments.
Right. That being said, I'm going to contradict myself a little bit in that I can relive now memories that may have been forgotten. Like my favorite thing about social media, and there are so many things that I dislike about social media. I think a lot of people could use a break every month for a week or two.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing is my Facebook memories because I can't store all that information and think of everything at once.
Yeah.
So I had a memory 4 years ago. My whole family, all 5 of us were walking down Hollywood Boulevard looking at all the stars. Went to a nice coffee shop, and then later on we went and saw at Griffith Observatory. We saw the sunset.
Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't have that memory just wouldn't have popped in your head.
It wouldn't have popped in my head, but I had a Facebook memory, which again I think is the best thing about social media and Facebook specifically. And I'm old, so that's mostly all I use is Facebook anyway. Yeah. But I would contradict my point by saying that it actually helps and aids in that way too.
So all the viewer listening right there, you can watch us on Facebook and create your own memories of the Greg and Tim Show. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's called the X.
Snapchat.
I keep calling it Twitter. It's called X. Snapchat. We're not on Snapchat. We're on TikTok.
I was trying to get that right.
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. We're at 139. I think we could get to 150 before the new year.
Right. And if we don't.
So Tim will still wear his shirt during the episode. I'm not doing this.
Yes. Shirt, yes.
Pants, maybe not. Maybe not.
I'm not pushing this one.
No. But I think we'll get to 150. Maybe some controversial subjects coming up.
Yeah.
And we're working on guests still.
Yep.
We're still working on the guests.
Got one guest confirmed, and we'll
just getting the date confirmed.
Yeah.
That's the next thing.
And
we got 2 guests confirmed. We just got to get dates confirmed for both of them.
For sure.
So we're looking forward to that. And we got some other special stuff, possibly a giveaway coming up real soon.
And a special surprise sometime in the new year. that we're not going to tell people about, but it's going to be special.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, having some plans. Lots of big ideas.
Thanks for watching today's episode, and cheers to you. Cheers to you, Tim.
Cheers to you.
Happy New Year.
I'll bring my cup next time.
Happy New Year. And hey, Tim.
Yeah.
See you next year.
See you next year.
See you next year, guys.
See you, Billy.
Should old acquaintance be forgot?
I think I did a better job of talking into this.
I think you did a really good job.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I remember last time I got crap. And I'd be like over here. No, right back here.
And the amount of times Billy showed us inappropriate photos while we were talking was great.
Thanks for watching the Greg and Tim Show podcast. See you again next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Sharing is caring.